All right, so in the hallway here, we have a door. I can get it here. That goes down into the normally dark cellar, but I have all the lights on down here. Try not to fall down the steps here. Into a full cellar. I have my sweet zero turn in here. We'll talk about that one later as well. That's the 85-gallon tank that we just got. Gives us plenty of pressure and plenty of water. But really, it's just a pretty open cellar down here. So what's really nice about this is that you can pretty much get to everything. You don't have to have a crawl space like we have now where you have to crawl on rocks and through spiders and things. You can just kind of clean your way out and go through it. So there is a little bit of white mold here that we have to get cleaned up. It's a problem. The only other thing that we did have was there is some termite damage under here. You may not be able to see it very well, but there's definitely some termite damage that we've got to, we did get them to spray for it, but we might have to do some remediation there. You can see it here. Actually, this is where you can see it pretty bad in the subfloor and even on the beams there. So we're going to have to rip a lot of that out and see what actual damage is done. And, if we have to, we might have to replace some of these beams. We'll see. I don't think so at this point, but we do not know that. So it does have oil forced air for heat. And then there's just an old AC unit outside that doesn't really work very well. We're going to replace it next spring. But this oil forced air system here will put out some heat. It's fairly immediate, and that pipe up there gets pretty hot and heats up this cellar fast. But it does have a backup wood burning stove as well that's hooked up. So that's kind of neat. It does need some work on the inside. Maybe one day I'll rebuild that or something. I'm not really sure. See if I can get some new oven bricks or something for it that it needs. But it is what it is. Some of the stuff I bought to replace that wheelhouse. Other than that, there's just a bunch of spiders. So you see over here in this corner, this is the main source of water that can come in the basement when it rains heavily. If it rains light, it's not so bad. It comes from that corner, and then it rolls all the way around here, and then back in here through to a drain right over here. So we did test it out, and while we were catching water during a big rain, that's why that bucket's out there as well, no water came in here. So the only reason water's coming in is because the grading on the outside is basically right back down into the house, and it needs to be away from the house about 6 feet or so, at least, so that we can get water to run away from the foundation. Otherwise, it just leaks in down here. It's not horrible, but it does increase moisture down here, which is the reason why you have mold and other things like the moisture coming through here, creating, I forget what these crystals are called, but it actually comes from the bricks. The only other thing that we need to fix out here is there is some mortar cracking here along this wall. It goes down to about right there. Like I said, it did look foundational. The wall's pretty straight. It's not bulged in, even though it may look like it on the camera a little bit. It's not. But all of the walls are pretty sturdy. In general, everything's okay. It's just going to take some work. We might have to try to seal off, maybe with some dry lock or something, just to try to keep the moisture out as much as possible. A lot of this is just old water damage that needs to just be cleaned up. We have not had water come in from here or here the entire time. Since we've been looking at the property, it's only been that corner and sometimes through this door because this jam's rotten a little bit. But there are plenty of outlets down here as well, which I like, so I can kind of, at least for now, turn this into a workshop. Eventually, we want to not finish it, probably won't finish it. We'd love to finish it, but we don't think we're going to be able to because it's really just not designed for that. You can see all the vents and stuff are down here, and it's really just not made for it. But we might be able to create a couple of sections that are sectioned off in a way that they're stable and we can turn them into offices or just workshops for whatever we intend to do down here. But a lot of cobwebs. So right now we're just cleaning. And obviously we have not cleaned a lot at this point. But we did. So the reason why we had to get this was our well pump was dying on us. We had a leak inside the well. So we had to, instead of getting them to fix that and paying for that, we just said, look, just give us a submerged pump, because it was a jet pump before, a submerged pump, and that goes straight into the house over here and into our water tank, pressure tank. So we don't have any filtration or anything like that. The water's pretty good. We might shock the well or something at some point in time just to make sure when they tested the water there was no bacteria in it. It's got a very slight yellow tint to it, but nothing too bad. It doesn't taste bad or smell bad or anything like that. Yep. So this is all of our junk at this point. And then this door, as you've seen in other videos, goes out to the walkout, back porch here. So you see it's getting a little dark now. Like I said, that satellite dish is the state flower of where I live. So they're everywhere. But we're going to get rid of that one because we don't need it there, and my wife wants a swimming pool out there. So it's going to have to go. But that might end up being the roof of my building I build out in the woods somewhere, a yurt or whatever. So, but that is the basement. Thanks.